Welcome to I Feel That Way Too. This is your host, Assia. This podcast is mainly for women 40 and above to share and offer support through life's transitions. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is episode 2. Our topic today is expectations. Now, we briefly talked about expectations in our last episode, but today I really wanted to talk more about it, especially the expectations that we put on ourselves as women. We've all heard of women trying to do and be all, setting expectations on themselves that can never be met or feel miserable in the process. So today I want to talk about how did we get to this point? What are the signs that you are letting expectations run your life and what to do about them? Now, I believe that we came to this point is because we are taking the beliefs that we grew up with and trying to make it work with today's reality. I mean, we grew up in a time where it was quite common for women to not work, be stay-at-home moms, being full-time partners, and having the whole day to keep up with household chores. But in today's reality, most women have to work. Most homes need 2 incomes. So we're taking that belief from the past and trying to make it fit with today's reality, and that's just impossible. So I think this is what women tend to forget. And it's a quite simple thought. What worked in the past cannot work with today's reality. For example, the size 6 jeans that I wore in high school just does not fit in today's reality because today I'm a size 10 or 12. So this is what I'm talking about. The past beliefs does not match with today's reality. Now, here are some signs that you're letting expectations run your life. You may often feel like people are letting you down. You tend to obsess on details. You have a checklist for your future, what your partner should look or behave like, what your career should be like, or what your house should look like. You live with your life with a constant feeling of dissatisfaction, frustration, or even emptiness. Others have called you to a critical or a perfectionist, maybe. You suffer from guilt, which is a sign that you expect too much of yourself. Or you often have feelings of resentment, which is a sign you expect too much from others. So, expectations create an internal conflict because of the disconnect between what we expect and what is happening in reality. To remove this inner conflict, we have to remove the disconnect. So, the first thing that you can do is to become aware of your expectations. Now, every time you think someone should do something or something should happen, that is an expectation. So be aware of the word should. The next thing that you can do is to not compare yourself with others. When you compare yourself with others, you expect more from yourself. And we did briefly also talk about comparing ourselves in our last episode. But just because your neighbor or your best friend has a particular car doesn't mean that you must have that too. Don't expect yourself to get that car as well. It just causes you to be miserable. So let that go. Create your own reality. Do not create your friend or your neighbor or your peer's reality. Create your own. Create what's right for you. The third thing to do is to be open to changes and possibilities. Never be fixated on the outcome or fixated on your plan. Plans often fail. That's why they are plans. So if they do fail, it just means that you need to change your actions. Think about entrepreneurs. They don't become successful because they never fail. They become successful because when failure happens, they change their course of plan. They take different actions. And this is what we need to do with our daily lives. We need to evaluate what went wrong and change our actions. Be real with ourselves. Another thing to do is to become aware of expectations people have of you. For example, parents have expectations of you or of us. They might have expected you to be a lawyer and you're not. Your partner expects you to behave a certain way. Or your peers expect you to be at a level in terms of their wealth or their status or their relationships. And of course, society expects us to look a certain way. Now, a way to deal with other people's expectations is to ask yourself, is this what I really want? Or is this what my family, friends, or society wants from me? How does this expectation serve me? How does this expectation hold me back? What would it take to let this expectation go? What would I lose by letting go of this expectation? And what would I gain by letting go of this expectation? And lastly, what you can do is to start practicing letting go. One way to do that is to start writing your expectations on paper, because sometimes seeing them on paper gives you a different perspective. And it can also see how absurd sometimes your expectations are. Another thing that you can do is to think about the actions you can take to improve your situation. And we talked about that. So by taking action, you can let it go. And thirdly is to find the good in the situation. Be grateful for what you have accomplished and be grateful for what you have. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any comments or questions, please email me at Houston, Houston, Assia, Assia @gmail.com. Thank you for listening once again, and talk to you next time.